Welcome back to the show. So we looked at the stories of how some women choose to go back to their old jobs and their old firms. Some, however, choose to change their field completely post taking a career break, and a few choose to take the entrepreneurship way. So today I have with me Anjali Kriplani, a former journalist, author and also an entrepreneur. So Anjali, can you tell me a little bit about what is it that you did earlier and what was the reason for your career break?
Hi. So I actually used to work in television, much like yourself. And what happened was, at the same time, I had also written a book, and my first book had come out. And I think what got to me was just that I didn't have that flexibility, because I'm someone who likes doing a lot of things and I don't like being boxed in a role. So while I really enjoyed working in television, it just started getting very hectic for me. And I just felt like I want that flexibility where I can, write, I can promote my book, as well as get started on my forthcoming books. And still work and obviously earn a living. So so that was the reason I decided to take a break.
All right. So but now you also have your own PR firm.
Yes.
How did that work out?
So what happened was, I've actually worked in marketing more, and I have a degree in marketing, but I had worked at a PR agency a few years ago, and I had a colleague and friend from there who kind of also wanted to start something of her own. So we just got talking and we said, why don't we start a firm of our own? We've obviously got the experience, and obviously having worked in the media, I kind of knew the other side as well. So I thought it was best to just put together all my experience, all my skills, and start something of my own.
Okay, but don't you think it works the other way around? Let's say if you're looking to join back in a firm, you took, of course, the entrepreneurship way. But what about someone who's probably looking to, join back to work in a firm again? So is it a little difficult then?
It would be. I mean, see, in the past as well, I've kind of had a smaller break before, like 2-3 months, which, yes, when you go to an interview, of course, an employer would question that. But I think it all depends on how you kind of justify your break. So, if you say that, I kind of took the time off to get more focused in life, and now I've come back more focused, more refreshed, I don't see any harm.
So what are the challenges that you faced when you started up your own business with your partner?
Yeah. So starting a new business, of course, everyone knows that, it comes with a lot of challenges, and I think you only realize that once you start. So with us, I think it was more just, because we had worked in the field, we kind of knew what we were doing, so that wasn't an issue. But it was more actually getting people to trust us and to come on board as clients, because obviously, when getting your first client is obviously the most tough thing. Once you've proved yourself, then it becomes easier. So getting that first client was a little bit of an issue in the beginning, in the sense that we were meeting a lot of people, but people's confidence kind of varies because you're a startup, you're a new firm. But then we started off working with a friend who was looking for PR at that point. And then from there, we had that work to prove ourselves, and then we kind of started getting work.
So what do you think are the advantages of being an entrepreneur in comparison to, probably working under someone in a company?
So I think the main thing is just that, when it's your own company, you just feel that whatever you're working towards is for yourself. Whereas when you're working for someone else, you feel like you're putting in all that energy, you're putting in all that time, and in the end, it's, someone else is kind of, making that profit or getting the, even the accolades for the work. But when it's your own business, I think you're just so much more invested in it because it's your baby. So even if you've got to put in those, 12 hours or 14 hours or whatever it is per day, you don't mind it so much. So we already know that, we'll do a good job with this because we're so excited to work on it.
So being an entrepreneur definitely does give you an advantage. So Lakshmi now gets talking to a financial expert who helps you plan out your finances before you take that career break.
Absolutely, Ankita. I spoke to Bank Bazaar CEO Adhil Shetty to find out more about this, and here's what he had to say. So financially, what would you say these women need to keep in mind going forward?
Okay, so let's talk about both issues independently. Let's talk about sustenance, which is, will your savings be sufficient to tide over your expenses over the period of your break? So there are 4 parameters one needs to look at. So one is, what is the quantum of the savings you have? Now you could be holding savings in fixed deposits. Today they have savings account which pay 6%, 7%. You might have mutual funds. So first you take into account how much savings do you have and how readily are these savings available to you. If it's a liquid asset like a savings account or a short-term fixed deposit, it will be available. If it's something like a house or a fixed asset, right, getting liquidity might take more time. The 3 other factors which control expenses, right, are how many months are you going to manage without an income? That's one important factor. Secondly, what is your monthly expected outflow. Always add a 10% buffer for things you've not planned for, add a 10% buffer for inflation. But how much do you expect to spend on a monthly basis, right?
Okay, and final question, again, financially speaking, any particular tips in terms of savings they can make?
Okay, see, I think both in savings and in terms of financial protection, there are multiple options. So in terms of savings, right, one can look, today there are savings accounts which pay up to 7% and are fully liquid. There are also fixed deposits which you can take for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and these offer good interest rates also. There are mutual funds. Now, different mutual funds come with a different lock-in period. So when planning, you can pick one of these different options. But, you know, the common options are savings account, fixed deposit, mutual fund. One can, you know, also look at more aggressive / risky strategies like investing in the stock market, but I think it's safer to, you know, go with a dependable mutual fund, a good fixed deposit, because that keeps the money safe. Two insurance policies, right, which we strongly advise one should take is health insurance. So this is a Mediclaim policy for hospitalization. So if there's a bill of 1 lakh, there's an insurance company which will pay the bill for, let's say, any kind of hospitalization. And the last is life insurance. So if something were to happen to me and if there's someone depending on me, what is the life insurance cover that I should take? So these are two basic insurance policies we advise.
That was Bank Bazaar CEO Adhil Shetty on how to get your finances right before planning your career break. That's all we have for you on the show today. Thanks for watching.